Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Let's Demo. I thought that I should probably do another one of these for the castle demo. Which I did, and this is actually my second playthrough. And also, the voice track you're hearing now is recorded afterwards. The video was pre-recorded. And straight off the bat, here's something I didn't show in the previous video. There's the treasure section of the inventory, where you can just fondle everything you find. In this case, a very nice looking red glass, a wine glass, possibly for blood, considering what the actual what the actual lore in this game is. Also, completely unrelated to the treasures, but it took me embarrassingly long on my first try to get out, not from this room, but the second room, like these two connected rooms. I didn't try the one would think obvious way of getting out. But I do like that the easy to pick locks are back. The ones from previous game and the ones from the very early Resident Evil games. Like, there used to be a lot of pickable locks. Jill wasn't known as the master of unlocking for nothing. So here's the Maiden of the Harvest. A painting that I also missed on my first playthrough. There's probably some lore reasons behind that. Also a lot of clothing articles on the sofa on the right there. I'm not sure if Lady Dimitrescu was the one who left her gloves and I think a scarf on the sofa there, or a veil actually. I'm not entirely sure what that was, but like I said, one would think possibly an obvious thing to try, the old fireplace tactic of getting out of tight places. You know, fireplaces and waterfalls are usually those places you have to check in almost every video game. And here's the first and only puzzle piece, I think, in this demo. There's not much to puzzle in this one. And it's a lot less dialogue than there was in the previous one. This is mostly just gameplay. The previous one was mostly cutscenes. Also, you can break pots and whatever you find by pressing X near them, possibly revealing ammo and other kind of knickknacks, like the gunpowder there. But for some reason, the smaller vases on the tables, they don't have the press X prompt. Also, that was the door back to where we came from. We just unlocked the door from outside. But yeah, for some reason, the game doesn't give you prompts for the smaller vases. Also, I'm pretty sure that was the only shiny you can find in this demo. I didn't find that many in the first one. But yeah, that's the only one I've found here. Also, there's the one big puzzle for this section of the game. I think you have to put some kind of masks or just statue faces on those statues in some form of an order. I do not know. I still don't have the final game, obviously, and sadly. I would gladly play it a week early, but alas, I can't. The next thing I did in the demo was just... yeah, that's the X prompt for those. And here's the herb you couldn't really see in the previous video, but it really does have those blue bell flowers on it. Also, I didn't press anything to put that picture away. The game doesn't let you look at those for an extended period of time. It's only like a few seconds, and then it just goes away without pressing anything, if you so wish. And here's a gated, locked door. Like, the castle area seems very large, but a lot of the doors are obviously locked at this point. You're probably just going to go and find a lot of keys. Very Resident Evil in essence. Just finding keys all over the place. Very early on in the series that became a thing, like in the very first fucking game. And yes, that's the 3 daughters. Those are the 3 witches, I'm pretty sure, that haunt you throughout the game. And then we can see some delivery notes for the castle. Like, there seems to have been some weird shit going on for a long time. Long time before Ethan even got here. Long time before Chris fucked up Ethan's day. We can actually unlock that door as well from the other side at a later point. But next we're going to see a very interesting character.
Oh, we meet again.
Duke, why are you here?
Where there's coin to be made. And have you found your daughter?
No.
If she is truly here, the lady of the castle would have kept little Rose in her private chambers, would she not?
Dimitrescu?
The very same. Why don't you take a look? Maybe you'll get lucky. And speaking of looking, care to make a purchase?
Yeah, the Duke seems to know a lot more than Ethan does. Also, the little castle here with the instructions, it's very reminiscent of an old, well, not really a board game, but a board activity. Or 2 actually, Screwball Scramble and Kongman Adventure. Both of those games have like this little metal ball you have to roll around in the...
Oh, yes.
In the game itself, and you have to get the ball to the ending in a limited time, I think it was. Never had any of those myself.
Always a trustworthy, fair exchange.
Also, I really like how the top there says no one's a stranger to the Emporium. Very much leading to what the merchant used to say.
Leave this to
before. Speaking of merchant quotes.
What are you buying? Just something an old friend of mine used to say.
I absolutely love that. Like, that blew my mind when I heard that. I almost...
Please come again.
Audibly squealed when I heard that. Like I love old throwbacks like that, especially to a lesser known character, or well, not a lesser known character. The merchant from Resident Evil 4 is a very known character, but a lesser important character story-wise. And that seems to imply that the merchant and the Duke used to be friends. We still don't know what happened to the merchant. He most likely died in the explosion of the island at the end of Resident Evil 4, but who knows? We never saw him again. And here he is referenced, so I'm kind of hoping there would be more of those kind of small tidbits. Resident Evil 7 actually had a few good ones, like the newspaper article written by Alyssa Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak, and the book written by Clive R. O'Brien from Resident Evil Revelations. So yes, I'm very much all for small nods like that. Like, at least acknowledge that these characters still exist in the lore. That's very important to me personally. I really like the smaller character arcs in the series. Skipping ahead a little bit, because who wants to watch me break random pots around the place? Here's the last room you can actually go into in castle itself, with some more lore to be found. This one talking about the techniques of winemaking at the Castle Dimitrescu, Alcina Dimitrescu, her specialty having been a wine called Maiden's Blood, which I'm sure actually contained the blood of maidens. That seems to be the running theme of this upcoming game. And here's the final parts of the actual main area of the castle, you'd say. And here we use the ring with the eyeball we found earlier. And of course, immediately we find something that I already know I'm going to hate. This reminds me of the weird bug creatures from Resident Evil 6 that were almost impossible to kill without perfect
I haven't
hits
cut open a man
in
in a
little
while.
fly
Let me
thing
string
in the
you up,
middle.
slice your jugular, and just watch. Take
I
a
really
wild
do
dead,
hope
which would you
most of Resident Evil 8 won't be just running away from this one lunatic. That would be very annoying. Or her sisters, for that matter. Or any characters, for that matter. Like, I'm so done just running away from immortal beings in horror games. That's just
Trying to work up my
such a
appetite, are you?
fucking boring and overused trope. And here I managed to completely miss the entryway to the place where the demo actually continues. So I had to backtrack a little bit to get rid of the crazy fly lady. And on that note, skipping ahead a little bit, we finally get back to the room without her blocking the way. Rip the boards off the wall and jump into the dungeons of the castle, with some more exposure to be found. This one being the diary of one of the staff members at the castle back in the 50s, which is an interesting thing because even in Resident Evil lore, that's going way back. Like, Umbrella, the original Umbrella, was established in late 60s, like 66 to 68, somewhere around that time frame. And this file was talking about 1958, so the lore goes way back in this demo. Also, here's the giant lady. Everyone seems to be foaming at the mouth about. I don't really care, I'm just really eager to shoot whatever monstrosity she becomes at some point in the game. You know, how it usually works with almost every single Resident Evil villain. More of those delicious crates around here. They also have the X prompt. Again, unlike the small vases on tables, I really don't know what that's all about. And here's the first actual puzzle in the game. There was a file somewhere that talked about fire becoming the light or something. Basically, you just have to push the little torch in the middle of the room into those other torches to light them up, and the door opens at the end of the chamber, and you are led into the dungeons themselves, where people were apparently kept in very medieval torture devices and possibly being drained of their blood for some nefarious purposes, possibly the delicious wine that one file talked about, the one that Lady Dimitrescu is known for. Gonna make that maiden wine. So I'm really kind of morbidly intrigued what that little thing in the little cage was like. Were humans kept like dogs in there? Like, you would have to be in a very, very uncomfortable position. Again, when you are being tortured, that your preferred position probably isn't something your captors are gonna be asking you about. So maybe it's just on par with whatever was happening here. Oh, hello, dead body falling from the roof. Not on my first time, nor on my second time that actually would have done anything. Very basic, startling tactic. I think I've become too used to those in this series and horror games in general. But yes, the main enemies of this area are coming right up. They seem to be like these vampiric kind of zombie-like creatures, very ghoulish in a way. But they don't seem to be completely zombies, and they are using weapons. But they also aren't as much of a bullet sponge as those werewolf people were in the previous demo. Also, these guys are quite easily just stabbed, I found out. Of course, I'm gonna fuck it up at some point, but as long as you block and keep your health in check, you know, not get hit by things like that, so you don't die, which I thankfully didn't. They were quite low on health anyway. But yeah, they are very easily stabbed. Also, I really like the animation for the reloading of the weapon. Ethan pulling out, like having actually two clips in his hand and storing the other one back into his pocket. And here's a crystal skull, one of the collectible items you can sell. It seems the enemies just randomly drop those. One of the werewolf people would have also dropped one in the previous demo if I actually wasted my time trying to kill them. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, both times I had no idea where that one guy came from. Just appeared from behind me. The pipe bomb we just found is going to be a very useful item. Very momentarily, because this place has a lot of enemies. You could probably easily stab all of them if you wanted to use your time trying to do that. The pipe bomb does its job rather well. Also, here's another specific thing to be sold to the Duke. I don't know why he would want this disgusting necklace, but it's probably gonna fetch a high price, so I would assume that's how these games work. And from this point on, you don't really have much time to actually check on places, because the fly lady is going to come running after you the moment you go into the next room. Though I did decide to check the area for possible loot. There just didn't seem to be anything.
I can't believe
And
Cassandra
here she
caused
comes.
all this mess.
And that's pretty much the end of the demo. You try to run away, and she grabs you anyway.
A healthy man's blood. Where are you going, little one?
I do wonder if the other sisters have similar powers as she does. Like, she becomes flies. Lady Dimitrescu is very tall, I guess that's her superpower. And then there's like... there has to be at least two more. No idea what those two are going to do. They all probably have their own special things they can do. That was 17 minutes, that was pretty okay. You can probably run through this in like fucking under 10 minutes if you just bolt it from the beginning of the game and just ignore almost everything. You can do that, I'm pretty sure it's easily done. And here's the final trailer for the game that's coming in a week. Oh geez, time has gone so fast, even in quarantine. Let's kind of weird to think it's coming so soon. Anyway, I should probably go through some specifics about how the game ran in my personal opinion. Like, I was playing this on base PlayStation 4, and it seems to run just as well as Resident Evil 7. I wrote this in the previous video's description, but might as well just go through it again, I guess. Anyway. I'm not that big of a graphics buff or anything, so I can't really tell if this ran like really badly. But it was the FPS was constant, so it didn't fluctuate. Like it didn't have any terrible drops, even when there were like 5-6 enemies lunging at you in the dungeons, or even when you threw the freaking pipe bomb at them. But yeah, if you played Resident Evil 7 on PlayStation 4, this will apparently run just as well. Of course, the final product may vary in some weird way and tank horribly at some points, but from what I can gather from these demos, it seems to be running just fine. Like, it's playable, it's completely playable. If you don't mind playing a first-person shooter with a controller, there's nothing stopping you from doing that here. Even on a base model PS4. Like, you don't need a Pro, you don't need a PS5. It runs just as well on this one. And that's pretty much it. There's not much more to talk about. The game is coming out really soon. I will be streaming it on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/massdistraction, if you are interested. Yes, indeed. You are welcome to join me on my first adventure through this game, come the release date. But as far as this video goes, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in whatever I decide to do next. Bye bye!